Have you ever asked yourself why you keep making the same choice in different costumes, different jobs, different partners, same ending? You tell yourself this time is different. You believe it. Yet the outcome arrives like a letter you already wrote years ago. The choice feels free. It feels like yours. But something older than your reasoning is steering the wheel. There is a childhood pattern quietly shaping your decisions right now. You do not see it. That is the entire point. By the end of this video, you will recognize it. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Most adults will never ask this question honestly. They will not sit with it long enough for the answer to surface. Because the answer requires admitting something uncomfortable, that you have been less free than you believed. That the wise adult choosing your career, your partner, your conflicts is often a small child wearing your face. A child who learned one rule about love, one rule about safety, one rule about being seen. And that child is still running the operation, still negotiating with shadows that vanished 30 years ago. But Jung discovered something even more uncomfortable about this pattern. The child does not want to be found. The child wants you to keep choosing what feels familiar. Familiar feels safe, even when familiar is the wound itself. This is why you return to people who cannot meet you. Why you abandon dreams the moment they get close. Why you sabotage the relationship that finally feels good. Familiar is not love. Familiar is recognition. And recognition to a child is survival. So the pattern protects you by repeating the very thing that hurt you. Picture this. A little version of you, maybe 6 years old, learning the temperature of the room called home. Learning what made the adults soften. Learning what made them turn away. Learning when to disappear. That child built a map. The map said, this is how love works. This is how you stay safe. You are still using that map in every job interview, in every text message, in every silence after conflict. Carl Jung called the unconscious patterns we inherit from childhood the complexes. Emotional knots formed early, activated forever. A complex is not a flaw. It is a survival strategy that outlived its usefulness. It kept you alive then. It limits you now. Stay with me here. This next part will explain something about yourself you have never been able to articulate. Jung observed that we do not remember our childhood. We are still inside it, walking around, making decisions. The adult body is a costume. The choices come from underneath, from the part that never aged past the original wound. This is the part most modern therapy never addresses. The unconscious has its own intelligence, and it is not always working for you. It is working for the child who needed a strategy to survive. That strategy became your personality. So when you choose the emotionally unavailable partner, the child is choosing. When you stay too long in the wrong job, the child is choosing. When you go silent instead of speaking your need, the child is choosing. The adult only signs the paperwork. Jung had a framework for self-inquiry he called active imagination. It is the practice of dialoguing with your unconscious directly. He believed every adult symptom traces back to a moment the child made a decision about reality. That decision became invisible. The work is not to blame the child. The work is to find the decision, then make a new one as the adult. Because here is what Jung understood. The child did the best they could with what they had. Their decision was brilliant for survival. It is just no longer accurate. The room you live in now is different. But the child does not know that. The child is still scanning for the original danger, still bracing for it. So your choices today are not really about today. They are about a room from decades ago you never left. How do you discover your specific pattern? You watch your repetitions, not your stories about them, the repetitions themselves. Where do you keep ending up? Who do you keep attracting? What feeling keeps returning regardless of circumstance? That feeling is the clue. The feeling underneath is the original feeling. The situation is just a costume. If you keep ending up feeling unseen, you learned early that you would not be seen. The choice now confirms it. If you keep ending up feeling abandoned, you learned early that people leave. You choose people who will. If you keep ending up feeling not enough, you learned early that there was a version of you that was wrong. You are not attracting bad luck. You are casting actors in a play you wrote when you were too young to know. Comment below, which feeling keeps returning to you across different situations? Just one word, whatever surfaces first. Drop that word in the comments. Let yourself see it written down. That word is your map. Now we return to the question, what childhood pattern is quietly shaping your choices today? The answer lives inside the feeling that repeats. The pattern is the strategy you built around that feeling. Once you see the strategy, you can finally meet the child who built it. Not to fix them, to thank them. Because they kept you alive. They got you here. They are not the enemy, they are the messenger. The work begins with one practice. Tonight, sit quietly for 10 minutes. Imagine the child version of you in a chair across from you. Not to interrogate them, not to fix them, just to sit with them. Ask one question. What were you trying to protect me from? Then listen. Whatever services, do not edit. Write it down if words come. Sit in silence if they do not. This is Jung's active imagination scale to 10 minutes. It is the doorway between the adult you are and the child still choosing. Do this for 7 nights. By the 7th night, something is shift. The child will tell you what the pattern is for. And once you understand the function of the pattern, you can offer the child a new option. You can become the adult they never had. This is the part most people never reach. They want to break the pattern. They never thank it first. The pattern will not release until it is understood. Fighting it makes it stronger. Understanding it makes it loosen. This is what Jung meant by individuation, the lifelong process of becoming who you truly are, not who you were conditioned to be. Individuation is not about rejecting the child. It is about integrating the child, bringing them into the room as a member, not a ruler. When the child is integrated, the choices change, not because you force new behavior, because the underlying need is finally met. You stop choosing absence because you no longer need to confirm the original story. You stop choosing chaos because safety is finally believable. You stop choosing smallness because the part of you that learned to shrink finally feels seen by the adult you have become. This is the transformation Jung described, not the elimination of the past, the transformation of its grip on you. What changes when you do this work? Almost nothing, and everything. The outside may look similar, the inside is unrecognizable. You will still meet the same kinds of people, but you will not choose them. You will notice them and walk past. You will still feel the old feelings rise, but you will not obey them. You will greet them like familiar guests. You will catch yourself mid-choice and ask, is this me, or is this the child? That pause is the freedom. That pause is what nobody told you was possible. The pause between the impulse and the action, that is where your life begins. Most people resist this work because the child has been useful. The pattern has been profitable in some hidden way. It has protected you from disappointments you were not ready for, from intimacies that felt too risky, from visibility that felt unsafe. So when you start to dismantle it, you will grieve. That grief is correct. You are saying goodbye to a self that kept you alive. Honor that grief. It is not a setback. It is a sign that the work is real, that something is actually changing. Carl Jung wrote that what we do not bring to consciousness will return as fate. Your pattern is fate dressed as choice. Until you see it, life will keep handing you the same lesson. In different rooms, with different faces, same lesson. The moment you see it, fate becomes choice again. The repetition loses its grip. The doorway opens behind you. What I am about to share next is something Jung emphasized that most modern teachers miss. The pattern is not yours alone. It was inherited. Your parents inherited theirs. Your child, if you have one, is forming theirs right now. The chain is long. Breaking the pattern is not just personal, it is ancestral. You are doing work that several generations could not do. That is why it feels so heavy. You are not failing. You are carrying something that was handed to you, sealed. The deepest version of this question is not what pattern is shaping your choices. It is what choice would you make if no pattern existed? Who would you be if the child finally felt safe enough to let you lead? What would you choose without the old map? Sit with that question tonight, not to answer it quickly, to let it work on you while you sleep. Because the question itself is the medicine, the asking is the integration, the willingness to look is the healing. You are not broken because of the pattern. You are human because of it. Every adult carries one. The difference between those who suffer it and those who transform it is one thing: willingness to meet the child. Not to send them away, not to silence them, to welcome them home, and finally take the chair they have been holding for you. This is the quiet revolution Jung pointed toward. Not louder ambition, not better discipline, Deeper recognition of what is already moving you. The choices you make tomorrow will look ordinary from the outside, but each one will carry a different signature beneath it. Not the child's signature. Yours, the adult who finally arrived. The one the child has been waiting for since the beginning. So here's your question for tonight. What feeling keeps repeating in your life across different costumes? Sit with that feeling for 10 minutes. Ask the child inside what they are trying to protect you from. Listen without editing. If this video met something honest in you, leave a comment. Subscribe so the next decoding finds you. The work continues. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your messenger. It carries the gold you have been searching for in the world. The work is to listen,